Here for later today, as that winter storm that's bringing historic snowfall across the Gulf Coast is going to be moving off the Carolina coast, but enough moisture will be pushing inland here that we will likely see some of that snow that could cause some issues, especially with that evening commute. Right now you can see the sky looks pretty milky across the area, and we have that bitter cold air that's in place with temperatures right now in the single digits in the mountains to low 20s across the Piedmont. Now the winter weather advisory expands here across the I-85 corridor and for all of our counties here to the south and east. The biggest impacts are going to be felt closer to the coast, but even a light dusting of snow could cause some issues, especially as it's going to begin here after 4 o'clock, which means that it could make travel a little bit rough heading back home from work later today. You can see the winter storm causing major impacts, or it will be, across the Gulf Coast. Texas already seeing some of that heavier snow through Houston. We have blizzard warnings in effect here for southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. We're going to see the first significant snow for New Orleans in years, and we're going to see the first snow in more than a decade across parts of Florida, like Big Bend region here of Tallahassee, where we could see a couple of inches. For us in the Carolinas, we will begin to see those impacts roll in by mid to late afternoon. We're already seeing some of that snow stretch across parts of Mississippi and into Alabama. Now this air mass very dry, so it will take a little bit for that moisture to reach us, but we will likely see some of those heavier snow bands pick up just to the east of the area. As we head towards 4 or 5 o'clock, starting to see some of that light snow move south of 85 and into the Charlotte region after 5. As we move towards 7 p.m., this is really going to be peak with some of those snowfall rates that we'll see across the area, and temperatures today not getting above freezing. So any of that snow that falls will likely stick and could lead to some slick travel. Now as we move towards 9, 10 o'clock, snow will begin to taper off, and by midnight the system here going to be out of our hair. It will move off the coast overnight into early Wednesday. As we look at what's ahead for those temperatures by Wednesday morning, in the teens and single digits across the region. So we have these very cold temperatures that are going to be sitting in place over the next really 36 to 48 hours. In terms of how much snow we can expect, this isn't going to be a big snowmaker for us here. We're looking at a dusting to a half an inch near the 85 corridor. The further south and east we get, that's where we could see maybe 1 to 2 inches of snowfall across parts of Chesterfield into Anson and Richmond counties. Now, in terms of those temperatures, this is also something to be aware of with this cold weather. We have a cold weather advisory in effect again tonight for the foothills and the Piedmont, with these temperatures falling back into the teens. For the mountains, we have that extreme cold warning, as those temperatures are going to fall into the single digits, but wind chills will fall from 5 to even 10 to 15 below 0 tonight. Today's forecast in terms of those temps not getting above freezing here today, will be in the low 20s across the mountains. Overnight lows are falling into the teens here, down to 17 in Charlotte, 13 for Statesville, single digits in the high country, and tomorrow going to be just as cold. We'll see those temperatures hover near freezing, but that bitter cold air will stretch through the end of the week, and wind chills later this evening here are going to be falling pretty quickly and pretty hard. That extreme cold warning for the mountains lasts until noon. 10 a.m. here across the rest of the Piedmont, that's where we'll have those single digit wind chills, and in the mountains we're talking about 5 to up to 15 below 0 depending on where you live. But for the snow, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it could make travel slick, especially because these temperatures are going to be so cold. We really need this dry air mass to moisten up to get more of that moisture, and the way things are lining up, we're seeing just a little bit more of it in place here, which is why that winter weather advisory is in effect, and really the timing of it with that evening commute. So once again, rolling you through the timeline, as we move towards 5 o'clock, we're going to see that snow start to inch in out of the south here. The biggest impacts are going to be felt closer to the coast, but we will see that snowfall through 7 p.m. for the Charlotte metro area, and for areas south and east here, we'll see that snow continue through 9, 10 o'clock before it gradually tapers off here for the evening. Likely still going to run into some slick spots as we move into the start of the day tomorrow, and with temperatures running near freezing, we'll likely see that even for Thursday morning as well. And those temps here are going to be very chilly, dusting to half an inch for the Charlotte metro area, and then we'll see those higher totals the closer we get to the coast. So if you have any travel plans, I would suggest you get things done for the first half of your day. The second half of the day could get a little bit messy, and it is going to be a bit messier here, especially if we get that burst of snowfall in early on here into the evening and the commute. But we are here for any of your questions. If you do have anything, we'll be sure to answer them for you, so you can just leave them in the comments and we'll get back to you. But I want to prepare here for that wintry weather and that extreme cold that is going to be settling in through the next few days. We'll have more updates with the WeatherWise team here with meteorologist Caitlin Wright later today, and of course with WCCB News 10 tonight and rising again tomorrow morning.